This is Dave Schwartz. I'm with Kevin Kennedy, grower from Illinois that has been experimenting with Trilok this last year and first-time user. And he approached me here at the Grower Solutions conference down here in Florida and told me some amazing stories about the Trilok product, and I'd like to have him share it with us today.
Well, this was a year that a transition for us. We had been anhydrous users, well, our entire career. So when we were looking at record high anhydrous prices, we were looking for potentially other options. And when we were able to find a source of solution that saved us a significant amount of money, we decided to make that change, provided that we would find some type of nitrogen stabilizer that would do the job of keep making sure that the solution, those units stayed in place. And so we tried the Trilok system, and we used it for our pre-plant and also our pre-emerge, and then we come back and we used it in the side dress system. And what we found was when we had no rain in June, when we went out and started our side dressing, and we had easy drop system, which allowed us to put the solution right at the base of the plant. And so that puts it right on the surface of the ground, and you could see a line where that material was applicated. And when we first started using that, and we set the machine close to our shop, we actually had 3 units overlap onto the gravel. And what was wild to watch was that when we set the machine, it just dribbled it out on the gravel and left lines there. It did not rain for 28 days, and those lines in the gravel remained there for 28 days. You could see them. And where in the field, where we had applied next to the plants, right where the plant was, that line disappeared. Now, if you had 2 or 3 skip plants, that line stayed. You could see it in the dirt. But when we finally did get rain, it was absorbed, it disappeared, absorbed into the soil profile. And it rained on July 2nd, rained several more times in July. Then we had 0 rain in August. When we took it to yield, we still had an above average crop, and actually in a couple of our fields we still had a record corn crop. So, you know, my biggest hesitancy was to try and change
Something you've done for a long, long time.
Yeah, and a lot of anhydrous users, we all have it in the back of our head. The dry years, anhydrous works better, okay? Well, and it did, but now we have these new stabilizers, which, in my opinion, it's a complete game changer.
And new application methods to put it on, too, that putting it at the base of the plant is another.
Absolutely, because if that would have been in the middle of the row, we couldn't have used the heavy dews of the plant to help draw that in around the base of the plant. So, you know, it was an entire system that brought about the success. It just wasn't one component of that.
And you told me that you actually had some yields that were very high, over 300 bushel in a year like this.
Yes, and not whole field averages, but areas.
Yep.
So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
The one thing that we've enjoyed about the Trilok product is that we've got 3 modes of action with that product. So it kind of weatherproofs you, that whether it's too hot or too cold or too wet, too dry, we've got 3 different chemistries in there that give you that 3-way protection. So it took us a while to put this thing together over years. It's only our 2nd year out with it. So thrilled that you got the opportunity to do it, and thank you so much for sharing this. Anything else that you'd like to add?
It was just the fact that it was a very simple product to use, as far as, you know, mixing or anything like that. Extremely simple to use, and it worked really well.
And I really appreciate it, the fact that you're using it on 32%, because that is the one market that we've noticed. Urea, we have a very high percentage treated in the market of urea. Anhydrous is obviously a very high percentage treatment in that market. For some reason, the solution is the lowest market share out here. There's a lot of farmers that aren't treating their solution, and that's why I was so interested in your testimony here. More farmers need to take a look at treating their solution when they're top dressing or side dressing, or even their pre-plant with their herbicide.
Well, I just think a nitrogen stabilizer, it just needs to be used no matter when we're applying it, because it's very important to keep that product close to the plant. We don't want any of it escaping.
And we've got all the proof from all the universities that up to 50% of your nitrogen can be lost if you don't protect it, and at the prices that you have to pay and others for nitrogen, you can't afford that, and you can't afford the yield loss.
No, nor do you want it going to other places in our environment where it shouldn't be.
Which is an even bigger thing.
Yes.
That's why we watched, especially in Illinois and Iowa, two states that are very highly monitored for water nitrates, and this is a plan. And very, very glad to hear you shared your story with us today, Kevin. And this is what Landus is promoting, and hope we can encourage some other growers to try this, because it's definitely something that'll make you money.
Worked well this year, that's for sure.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.